Hello all, hello patrons, and welcome to another reading. So this reading is going to be on the next 24 hours. That's whenever you're getting to this reading, whether it be when I'm posting it, excuse me, or whether it be down the line. So we've got three options here for your next 24 hours. So first you've got the vanilla oil, that's group 1. Then we've got aloe vera oil for group 2. And we've got castor oil for group 3. So vanilla, group 1, aloe vera, group 2, and castor for group 3. So pause the video now if you need a little bit more time, and we're going to get started. So let's get started with group number 1. Vanilla. Vanilla. Okay, let's see. I really like the smell of this one. It's really nice. Okay. Group number... I don't know what. I kind of want to raise the phone a bit. Because that way you can kind of see more of the cards. I mean, you probably won't see them too much, but you can see them a bit more, I guess. Okay. The next 24 hours for group number 1, please. The next 24 hours. We've got the Ten of Swords in reverse. I think you're finally making peace with something within the next 24 hours. You're kind of like, okay, this wasn't meant to be. Whatever it is. I'm really getting something. You might have a dream. So in the next 24 hours, whenever you're going to be sleeping, you might have a dream. Or some sort of, maybe even an intuitive hit, but I'm more so getting... This group is likely to have like a very specific dream that's going to help you with making peace with something that was never meant to be. It's like, I'm just really hearing it wasn't meant to be. That's fine. It wasn't meant to be. So a dream that you have tonight potentially could bring peace to that in some sort of way. I think you're kind of... Maybe for the last couple of days you've been feeling like you've been coping with the idea that something wasn't meant to be, that something wasn't supposed to play out the way you thought it was going to play out to begin with. But there's really like a sense of, I keep hearing it wasn't meant to be. So there's an understanding or like coming to terms with the idea that something wasn't meant to be. In the next 24 hours for this group is what I'm getting. 2 of Wands in reverse. You may feel like the next 24 hours might feel like you have to figure something out alone rather than getting help from someone. I kind of feel like if you didn't get a certain job, let's say, or you didn't get a certain position, because I feel like whatever this ending is, or whatever, it's like an ending, or you didn't get something, or something didn't play out the way you wanted it to play out. And I feel like that has happened already. So like some sort of an ending happened, or like there's a feeling like you didn't get some sort of a job, or you didn't get like a position or a promotion that you really wanted and you thought was supposed to be yours. There's something that it almost feels like I didn't get it. It's not something that I grasped in the end. It was like a desire of mine that I didn't grasp at the end, by the end. And I feel like you're coming to this feeling of it actually wasn't meant to be. And I feel like you might have a dream about it or something like that, where that kind of solidifies in your mind, where it's going to feel like, oh, I understand why it wasn't meant to be. So it could be that maybe in hindsight, you're looking at that position with a fresh set of eyes, or like with a wiser kind of perspective, and you're looking at it and being like, well, that job actually wasn't ever for me because these parts of it actually don't fit me as a person and what I'm evolving to become. This could also be about a relationship for some of you, although for most of you, kind of feels like it's more on the side of not getting a promotion, not getting a job, not getting an opportunity that maybe you thought it was a great opportunity. But in hindsight, looking at it and saying, yes, it still would have been an amazing opportunity. But like in hindsight, I can see that it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to play out. No matter how badly I wanted it to play out, it doesn't mean that it was supposed to play out. It doesn't mean that that was the that's not what the universe had planned for me, kind of thing. So it's not necessarily that you're happy that you didn't get it. It's not necessarily that you're happy that it didn't work out, but something is solidifying almost on a subconscious level where you're kind of like, I get it, I understand. And it's kind of this feeling of like, I wanted it so bad, it's almost like I was so blinded by it. So there's something here that you really wanted. I mean, for some of you, it could be a relationship, but it just feels like you were almost like fired up about it. And you were so excited for it, and you were like, I have to have it. I have to get it. Like, this job has to be mine. This opportunity, this promotion has to be mine. And it fell through. And it's like, it ended up not being yours. And you're kind of making peace. You're on the other side of it now. So it's not something that's going to happen. It kind of feels like that has happened. What's going to happen in the next 24 hours is that you're kind of going, I'm making peace with that. Because in hindsight, even though I still see this as an amazing opportunity that I'm sad. Like, let's not mince the words. Like, I feel sad that I didn't get it. I feel sad that it didn't play out the way that I wanted it to play out. But yet I'm happy that it didn't happen in a certain sense, because I can tell intuitively, or I can tell like from my dream, or there's something in me that tells me, even though it would have been an amazing opportunity, it wouldn't have been exactly like a good fit for me. It's like recognizing that you can want something really badly and get like grieve something really badly that it didn't work out or that it didn't happen, and still recognize that like if I did get it, I probably would have very quickly found out that it's not something that is a fit for me. So I feel like that's the kind of 24 hours that you're having. It's a lot more subconscious, it's a lot more subliminal, where you're I think you're also kind of understanding that sometimes you have desires, or just like we as humans have desires that may fire us up and inspire us amazingly, but it doesn't mean that they're the thing that we desire is like the best thing for us. So I kind of feel like you're coming to a realization, it's like, I wanted that thing to work out so badly. I wanted that person so badly. For most of you, it does feel like I wanted that job or that promotion so badly, that opportunity so badly. But in the end, I can also recognize that the fact that I wanted it has nothing to do with the fact that like how good or compatible would it be with me as a human, as a being. That's kind of what I'm getting in the next 24 hours. We've got birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So maybe it's because of this, you're going to start forming some sort of a new idea of what actually suits you and fits you better. And you know what I'm also getting? This probably will be quite specific for some of you, but I feel like this message is for someone here. In the next 24 hours, it feels like you're going to come up with at least the beginnings of an idea, or like the beginnings of endeavor. Whereas maybe you were going after a job or an opportunity or a promotion whereas now you are almost like creating the opportunity out of yourself. Like you're birthing something rather than and one is not better than the other, but it's almost like maybe you're recognizing that you need to create something rather than go after opportunities that are created for you. I hope that makes sense. Let me think. It's like you have to think outside of the box. I think the next 24 hours, there's going to be a lot of outside of the box thinking. Like, out of the box thinking is really coming through strongly. It changed for the better. Like, I really feel it's like I'm still sad that I didn't get this opportunity. I'm still sad that I didn't get whatever I wanted to get out of the situation. But you're going to see the merit or the happiness or the opportunity within the fact that you now have to think outside of the box. It's like I really do have to think outside of the box now. It's this kind of has this feeling of, you know, when you really want to work for a place or a job or like, and it's like you almost glorify it, you almost give it like you put it on a pedestal. You might even recognize that you were putting something on a pedestal. So in the next 24 hours, you might be coming to this like solid realization of like, oh, I was putting this on a pedestal. I was really putting this on a pedestal. Problems to be resolved. The next 24 hours, you do really feel like outside of the box kind of thinker, problem solver. But the biggest feeling that I'm getting is this like dichotomy or duality of understanding that you can be sad about not getting your desires or something that you worked really hard for, and yet recognizing, hey, wait a second. Yeah, I really wanted that and I was really passionate about it and I really wanted to be with that opportunity, with that person, I wanted to gain that promotion, but it would have put me in a box. It would have put me I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't be growing the way that I'm growing when I don't have this opportunity. It's almost like recognizing that this opportunity could have brought you far, but you can bring yourself further if you don't have this opportunity. Wow, it's like it's forcing you to transform and it's annoying and it's difficult and it's not easy, but it's like, but truthfully, it is hard. But if I'm very honest with myself, I prefer this because it's making me grow outside of the barriers of the opportunity that I was wanting so badly. For some of you, you could recognize that if you were like, if this is a relationship that's ended, you could recognize like, if I stayed in this relationship or if I stayed in this connection, it would have boxed me off. I wouldn't have been able to like really expand. So the next 24 hours are likely to be kind of more, but these realizations, it's not like you're thinking about them actively. I feel like it's more subconscious. It's like subconsciously coming through. So the next 24 hours, Page of Swords. You may decide to hold off on sending someone an email or a message as well as what I'm getting because of this realization. That I am getting that kind of like deciding, maybe I shouldn't send that message or email. Because it's like, especially if you were thinking, you know, oh, maybe I should send that company an email to say I'm still very interested in you know, that kind of way. It's like, oh, like, thank you so much for the opportunity. I know I didn't get the job, but I'm still very interested. You might decide to go, actually, I probably won't send that email. Or, you know, if it's a relationship that's ended, maybe it's like you've been crafting a message to someone for a while, and all of a sudden this kind of settling in makes you realize like, oh, actually maybe I'll hold off on sending that message. Not necessarily that you will never send it or that it's just in the next, because we're looking at 24 hours, right? So I think it's not necessarily that you'll never send it. It's going to be different for everyone, obviously, because this is a general reading, but I feel like for the next 24 hours you're just going to be like, actually maybe you were kind of getting prepared to send that message or that email in the next 24 hours. And I think something in you is just going to pull back, and it's going to be this feeling of like, actually, I'm just going to give it another couple of days maybe, or another week or something like that. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. That's interesting. We've got the Hierophant. Why do I have a feeling that a lot of you want to like email a boss or email someone who would have been like an interviewer, and you're going to decide to hold off on that? I don't know, that's coming through quite strongly for the next 24 hours? Or someone who's in a bit more of an authority position? There's something, I'm not saying that you have to or should, it's just the reading is coming out that way. I have more of a feeling that you're just going to come to that conclusion yourself. Like this feeling of, I was going to send this email, but I actually feel like I'll sleep on it. I keep getting that idea of like sleeping on something, you know when you say like, oh, let me sleep on it and see if I want to do it tomorrow. I'm kind of getting that for the next 24 hours for you. Especially if it's an email that you were going to send like a superior or an authority figure. Yeah, it's likely that I think you're still going to send it, but there's a feeling of within the next 24 hours, you're going to choose to pull back. And then adjust it, like adjust what you were going to say. Like maybe in the next couple of days and send it then. So again, don't forget, we're looking at 24-hour cycle when we're doing this reading. So it's kind of feels like you're going to decide to sleep on something. Yeah. There's this feeling of not wanting to come across as the same as everyone else. I feel like, especially if you're like, some of you, if you're applying for jobs or sending applications to something or sending like your resume to someone or like submitting something for a competition, there's this sense of like, should I submit it or should I wait another while? And I feel like within the next 24 hours, if that's something that you're doing, you're going to wait like another while. You're going to let it simmer is what I'm hearing. Let it simmer. We've got Aries. So I'm filming this in Aries season, but this might go out a little bit later, closer to Taurus season. But I feel like maybe Aries season was important in terms of what the next 24 hours has to bring. So what has happened so far for you in Aries season? Consider that. I feel like you're going to kind of mimic the energy of what has happened for you between like 20th of March until whenever you're watching this reading. But again, depends on when you're watching this, right? So Aries season could be significant, but Aries also makes me feel like Aries is impulsivity, it's instinct, right? So I think you're still giving your instinct or your impulses due respect, and you're like, because our impulses need to be respected as well. There's a reason that they're there, right? You're giving your impulses due respect, but you're also kind of saying to yourself, let me not be too impulsive to like in sending this or something. And we've got fixed. Yeah, I think you're choosing something kind of like a stable approach over an impulsive approach to something in the next 24 hours as well. The word waiting is coming through quite strongly. Waiting. So I think the next 24 hours, you're not the one that's waiting on something. You're waiting to do something. Especially when it comes to sending a message, sending an email, sending a text, anything to do with communication, especially communication that is not face-to-face. Written communication specifically. So you could be, written communication with Inkpot. That's crazy. You're waiting to send some sort of written communication. I love when that happens. In the next 24 hours. Yeah, you don't want to you really don't want to be disappointed with this communication in some sense. I am getting that next 24 hours, especially if it has anything to do with work, you're holding off on some sort of written communication. But I think even if it is a text like that you're maybe thinking of sending a person that you broke up with or a person with whom your relationship is kind of like almost like has ended or is like in the ballpark of ending, I think you're going to be like, let me wait. I think you will send it eventually, but I think you're going to wait and adjust it just a little bit. There's this sense of like, you're almost kind of like connecting to the timing. But yeah, I think there's this feeling of it wasn't meant to be. Again, like I know I've said that multiple times, but I keep hearing that it wasn't meant to be, and it's good that it wasn't. And I can still be sad that it didn't happen, or it didn't work the way that I initially anticipated it, or it didn't work out the way that I was envisioning it initially. I can still grieve it, but I can also recognize that it was never meant to be, and it was going to box me off in some sort of way. So that's interesting. So that's your group, Vanilla. Group 1. That was your group. Very interesting 24 hours coming up for you. Okay, let's keep moving along. So we're going to move on to Aloe Vera. Aloe Vera, group 2. Let's see, your next 24 hours. What did they have in store for you? Okay. It feels very work related. We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And I think you are allowing yourself to not worry about long-term goals or plans. You're giving yourself space to kind of go, why don't I just kind of work on what's at hand today? Rather than thinking like, what am I going to do next week? Or what am I going to do in a few months? What am I going to do? There's a sense of lightness in your work. That's what I'm getting, like a lighter energy than maybe what you're even used to usually. And I feel like it's kind of mostly to do with your perspective, but it could also be because maybe just the atmosphere in work is nicer. Maybe, you know, for some reason the mood is just lighter. But I just feel like work in the next 24 hours, and I feel like for most of you it's going to be work related, is going to be like lighter. You're not going to feel so bogged down by, oh, well, like what about my plan and where am I moving next with these responsibilities that I have, or, you know, what is my goal for the next month or so. You're allowing yourself to have a chiller day in terms of work and a chiller attitude to work in general today or in the next 24 hours. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let's see what else. We've got the Hierophant. So you're kind of giving yourself permission, honestly. Like, this kind of feels like you're giving yourself permission to not be so hard on yourself. To experience work from a lighter perspective, as I said. And I think you're also evaluating where you've been too hard on yourself when it comes to work, where you've had like insane demands. Because I have a feeling this is the group where someone here, or most of you here, have very high standards for yourself, to the point that sometimes it's even unrealistic. Or you kind of expect, I'm hearing you expect the work of like 5 people from yourself, especially if you're someone who like works like, you know, when you don't have a lot of people on a team, or you work alone, or you have your own business. You might be evaluating your business and looking at it and going like, I am doing the work of like 5 people and I need to be gentle on myself around that. Like, I can't keep having this kind of like frustration with myself when it comes to this work. Like, I can't have this frustration with myself. I deserve to give myself like leeway or compassion or understanding when it comes to my work. But this can also be like, for example, if it's not necessarily to do with just work, it could be that you're saying to yourself, listen, you know, I run a home, I work, I have children that I have to take care of. There's just this compassionate energy that you're coming at yourself with, where you're like, you know what, I am doing a lot. And yeah, I can't always be super ambitious, and I can't always put myself into a place where I am excelling and exceeding my expectations, because it's impossible to constantly exceed your own expectations of yourself. You can exceed them, it's like you're expecting too much of yourself in general, and I think in the next 24 hours you're recognizing that. I think you're going to have a moment where you're just going to be like, why don't I? You might even take a day off, honestly. I feel, for most of you, I feel like you're gonna still work. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be kind of hard for you to take a day off, even if you wanted to. Um, but I'm getting this sense of just like, why don't I take it easy on myself today in work? Like, why don't I have low expectations of myself? What if I just had low expectations of myself for the day? We've got April, which is, I'm filming this in April, so it's funny because we're doing like the 24-hour reading, and in group 1 I pulled Aries, the Aries card, so I'm filming this in Aries season, and I pulled April for you, so it's very funny how, but of course you can be watching this at a later date, which is, that's fine, but I think it's funny that those cards came out. So April, maybe you're gonna kind of look at yourself and go, I've worked really hard this month. I think whatever month you're watching this, you're gonna feel like, I worked really hard. I really pushed myself this month, and it's almost like, I feel like I almost pushed myself a little bit too much this month. Like, you might have that kind of realization in the next 24 hours. I also feel maybe you're gonna be taking an inventory. There's almost like an inventory. I think you're recognizing you need a break. It's like, I need a holiday, I need a vacation, I need some time off. I need some time off. I need to get away somewhere. Maybe you're kind of like, I need a break, I need a holiday. You could be planning or looking up holidays in the next 24 hours. Like, where can I go away to? Like, where can I go to? On, the words that keep coming through are unravel and unveil, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Unwind. But it's funny that I got unveil, reveal yourself to. It's like, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting someone going away somewhere where nobody knows them, and like acting, like kind of being a different person. So you might feel that kind of longing. So you're thinking about your finances, and we've got someone who's trying to come between you and some and a friend or something you want. I'm getting, you are coming between you and something you want as a break, or going, like, I'm kind of getting, okay, I'll tell you what I'm channeling. I'm seeing a person like going away somewhere to where nobody knows them, and it's almost like they're taking off their mask, and they're just like, get to act different. All of a sudden they get to be someone else. Like, in the next 24 hours you might even go somewhere where not a lot of people know you. You might go somewhere where nobody knows your name. Like, I'm kind of getting like, there's something like that, and it's like, I'm kind of getting someone giving a fake name, being like, oh yeah, this is my name, and almost like taking a new persona. So you might be, if this is not literal, if you're not literally going somewhere and like taking on a new persona, it could be that there's something happening where maybe you want to play a different role. Especially when it comes to your career, you might be noticing that you want to, some of you might be considering a serious career change. You might be noticing, like, this is not what I want to do until the end of days, kind of thing. It's like, this is not what I want to do. And some of you might kind of be like, I really thought I wanted to do this, but no, this doesn't resonate. I am getting that, like, reconsideration of your work, of your career, or maybe like your life path even. Maybe you thought you had a certain path in life. I want to try something else. I want to try something else. me, but I wanna try. I want to try, but I want to try, but I want to. It's like I want to try be someone else for a day, or maybe when you go and you try something like. In the next 24 hours, you might have a taste of something. Like if you went and did a cooking class or something like that. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I may not be a chef, but I fucking really enjoyed that cooking class. And it makes me feel like I want to tap into culinary career. And it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, I got a little taste of it. Now I want to try and be something in it. There's almost something like that. Like, why don't I try? Like, I just want to try. I just want to give it a go. Why not give it a go is what I'm getting for you. Leave me now. I guess you gotta leave me now. We've got 6 of Wands. You might also, I don't know if you're going to try something in the next 24 hours and you're going to realize that you're like kind of like a natural at it. Like, listen, wait a second. I'm actually a bit of a natural at this. And again, this idea of you know everything about me, I know everything about you. There's this idea of the next 24 hours going somewhere where nobody knows your name or nobody knows you. Nobody knows anything about you. Nobody knows anything about me. I want to go somewhere where nobody knows anywhere. Maybe you want to move. Maybe it's this idea of like, well, what I'm trying to do with my career or what I'm trying to do with my work needs to be taken to another location where nobody knows my name. Where people don't have like a predisposed idea of who I am. I mean, that might resonate. I know that probably won't resonate for all of you, but it could resonate for somebody. Queen of Wands. I keep getting this feeling of you trying something and like realizing you're kind of a natural at it. It's like, wait a second, I'm a natural at this. Like, I'm picking this up very quickly. Like, I never pick things up this quickly. So there might be like a skill or something that you pick up and all of a sudden you're like, should I be doing this? Like, not necessarily for a living, but it's kind of like, should I be doing this? Like, should I be implementing this into my life path? It's like, I'm very good at this. And I just started. Because I did an astrology workshop. I do astrology workshops every week pretty much right now here in Lisbon. And I had this girl come in and she had zero astrology knowledge. And she came in and I was doing a workshop on aspects between planets. And she came in and she was picking it up like this. And she was like, oh, so like this means, and when you have 3 planets in the same house, like, she was like, oh, so like she was like so quick. Everything she was picking up, like I didn't have to explain anything to her, while other people were kind of, again, everyone was had pretty basic knowledge of astrology. So while I was kind of really, really repeating things to other people and being like, okay, so this, if there's a conjunction between 2 planets, this is what this means, this is what the opposition means in planets. It's also called like when planets are in sister signs. Here's what sister. She was like, I get it. Like, she didn't need anything more. She was just grasping it. It was so easy for her to learn. And I feel like there's something like that here with you, group 2, where you're going to pick something up very quickly. And I think you are going to try it in the next 24 hours. Again, we're looking at the next 24-hour cycle. And you're coming to this conclusion of like, I'm pretty good at this. I could pick this up very quickly. This feels like something I'm supposed to try. That's very interesting. The Empress. I think this is something maybe creative. Like, maybe you go to an improv class and you're like, I'm actually really good at acting. Or you go, again, to a cooking class and you make the food and you're like, that is delicious. I made a delicious meal. I should look into this. Like, I keep hearing I should look into this. I should look into this. I should look into this. Um, like I'm also seeing like I should really consider going for it, but I feel like you may feel like this is something that you wasn't in your plan. You know, it's like you know when you envision something for yourself in terms of career or what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, and then all of a sudden you come across something you're like, shit, I'm really good at this. I was kind of like this with tarot, not to brag, but that was kind of me and tarot because I really thought career in like charity work and social care was gonna be like what I was gonna be doing. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I really like working with community. I really like, um, but I fucking hated it though, right? I like community, and yes, I enjoyed like doing certain things like events for community and certain aspects of it, but certain aspects of it I fucking hated it. So it's kind of like that. There's almost this feeling of, should I take this complete detour in my career and learn this skill and go for it? I'm kind of a natural at it. I'm pretty good at it. Should I just go for it? Like I keep hearing that kind of like, should I just go for it? Should I just, because that's kind of how I felt when I started doing tarot full time in the pandemic. Because it was that or look for another job, and I was like, should I just go for it? And that's what they're like bringing me back to. They're showing me that feeling. It's like, should I just go for it? Should I just like, is it crazy if I just go for it? It's not crazy, and you are a natural. There's something that you pick up very very easily, and I think the only person that's gonna stop you on this path is yourself. But that's what's happening in the next 24 hours. Keep in mind, this is a 24-hour reading. So in the next 24 hours, you're probably going to have quite a chill work day, but you're also probably realizing that there's a skill or something that you are trying out that you're kind of a natural at, and it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to go for it and make it like a full-time gig kind of thing, or like really seriously pursue it. I keep hearing, should I seriously pursue acting? I don't know why that's coming through. So for some of you, maybe that's just something that's coming through. So you're considering that. So that's what I have for you, group number 2. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it, even with the limited content. Honestly, thank you so much for sticking around through my little break. I'm going to leave that here, group number 2, and I'm going to move on. Bye. So we're moving on to group number 3, castor oil. So group 3. All of a sudden I'm kind of going blank, and that makes me feel like you might feel a bit vacant in the next 24 hours. Like you might kind of feel like, I don't want to use the word dissociating, but it's, okay, the devil. Six of Wands. 6 of Cups. And I want to take this one because it's pointing out at me. 4 of Wands in reverse. There's a feeling of going blank. Like paralyzed by fear is what I'm getting. And needing to, I'm really getting that you need to like watch a movie that you really enjoyed or like was very soothing to you when you were a kid or something like that. And I feel like this is an energy that maybe you've been in for the last couple of days. There's a need to kind of connect to things that soothe you and make you feel okay. I'm getting playing playful things. So anything that kind of evokes that feeling of childlike play in you, you're going to need in the next 24 hours, because I feel like you've been in a period of almost like a blankness. Like a blankness due to fear, due to um it's like paralyzed by fear. You're almost paralyzed by fear in some sort of way, and you're not helping yourself because you're like not playing, or you're not giving yourself that playful energy, and there's a need to almost gift yourself this playful energy in some sort of way. And I'm really getting someone watching like old movies that used to soothe them. Like I'm seeing, so like I really loved, one of the most soothing movies to me was always like Cinderella. I think it's because like the villains are not that scary in it and stuff. Like Cinderella, like the Disney version, is like one of the most soothing kind of like movies to watch when I was little. Or like the Barbie movies. That's what's coming through for me, but that's just because it's mine probably. Like I remember the Barbie movies where they're like the two lookalikes. I don't remember the name of that one, but that's the one that I really loved. Um, I really, really, really loved that Barbie movie where they look alike and one is rich and one is not, and they swap places. Um, but they're also showing me Cinderella, because Cinderella always like was, it was the, I loved a lot of Disney movies, but like Cinderella was the one where it wasn't very scary. I was terrified of Snow White, the movie, like the evil queen. So they're saying also avoid any sort of like grating or violent media, like avoid any sort of gory or violent media that's coming through for some reason. Maybe you need to just not watch anything unless it's like that kind of soothing um dealings or relationship with a woman. So there might be a woman involved that you're connecting to in the next 24 hours that's important to the day. um Okay, so we've got a distant friend is thinking of you. So there might be a friend in the next 24 hours who is not close by, like someone who could be living in a different city or a different country, that maybe you need to talk to them, like maybe giving them a call. I'm kind of getting, for some of you, it might be a childhood friend that like you keep in touch with, but maybe, you haven't spoken to them in a while. There might be a need to like talk to someone like that, like someone who's reminds you of those like more innocent times. We've got Mountain Road. You're on the road to success. I feel like something you need to know is that you're doing absolutely fine. I think you've been in a bit of a stupor. Paralyzed by fear is literally, you're afraid, like there's this feeling of like you're afraid that you're not doing well or you're not succeeding, but you're honestly like in a state of in the next 24 hours you really need to, it's like, reach out if you're especially if you're feeling like really scared, or you're feeling really, like if you're feeling, especially if it feels quite visceral and intense, you may want to reach out to someone who you trust and someone who you love and care about, and someone who cares about you in that kind of like tender, innocent kind of way, and ask them for, I'm hearing ask someone for reassurance. And for some of you, I think it's a woman, especially if it's a friend who's like far away. It's almost like, have you been putting on like a brave face recently and kind of acting like everything's great and you're just having so much fun and everything's amazing, but deep down there's just this feeling of inadequacy and fear? There's almost this need to ask someone for reassurance. And I feel like whoever this person that you ask for reassurance is like a friend. But maybe this friend is like, those friends who have your back and you love them and you care about them. But it's like you there's distance sometimes just because of circumstances, because maybe you're not, there's a lot of subconscious fears that are popping up. So it feels like a friend who will care about you, who will be there for you no matter what. But it's almost kind of like awkward to ask them, because maybe you're thinking, oh, they're busy, they're too busy for me. Like, I feel like you need to ask for reassurance from someone that you're doing well, that you're successful, Oh, I almost want to cry. I actually almost want to cry. It's this feeling of like, and I think something in you as well is kind of like, I am doing well. Like, everything's fine. I don't understand why I'm in this like weird space. Like, I don't understand why I'm so down, or like it just happens. Sometimes we spiral. Everything could be absolutely fine on the outside, but somehow our subconscious fear gets to us. You've got the Empress. I think for some of you this could be a mother figure, but I think for a lot of you this is just like a very nurturing friend. Most likely for a lot of you, someone who lives at a distance, like you can't go see them, like you can't, take a drive or take the bus to go see them. It kind of feels like kind of saying to this person like, hey, could we talk? Could you reassure me, because I'm just like, I don't feel so what I'm hearing is like, I don't feel lovable. I don't feel, oh my god, actually, like it actually feels very and it's not true. And it's like, it's not true. It's not true. So like in the next 24 hours, you may feel unlovable. And I think if it is in the next 24 hours, that's been the case. Like if you're watching this and you're like, I feel absolutely fine, it's probably not your pile. Because I'm getting it's been building. But you are okay, like, and it's okay to feel like shit, even though on the outside you're seeing everything and you're like, everything's fine. Because that's what I'm getting. You're like, I'm on the road to success with Mountain, and the Six of Wands. You're like, I'm on the road to success. Like, I can tell that I'm doing better. I'm healing. I'm working through my shit. I'm working through a lot of things. I'm actually doing so much better. But why do I feel so unlovable? Why do I feel so down? Like, you might just feel really down. I'm sorry, I actually feel kind of like, I feel like this strong emotion with this energy. I think there's someone in your life, maybe this could be a mother for some of you. I won't, I will be honest, but it could be like an older sister or like a younger sister. It could be, just a family member, or someone who feels like a family, like a very nurturing motherly woman. It's like you're wrestling with yourself in the next 24 hours, and you need someone to give you that pep talk. You need someone to go, you are lovable. People love you. People care about you. That kind of thing. And you know that. That's the funny thing. It's like, sometimes we know something and we still need to hear it from somebody else. We'll know it. We'll know it, but there's still going to be that 5% of us that doesn't know it and needs to hear it from someone else. It's like, don't be afraid to ask for validation in the next 24 hours. Reassurance and validation. Don't be... For some of you, it's from your partner, especially if your partner is a woman or someone with more feminine energy. Don't be afraid to ask your partner for reassurance. Maybe you need, especially for, or this doesn't have to, seventh house can also be like the house of best friends. So you may need to ask, maybe it's a best friend for some of you. You just need to ask them for reassurance. And maybe you're kind of, it's like, sometimes it feels a little bit desperate or pathetic to be asking for people for reassurance. I think, don't be afraid. I feel like you need to say to someone, like, I'm literally getting, can you please give me a pep talk? I could really use a pep talk right now. Oh. I actually, I feel really emotional doing this one. Don't be afraid to ask for a pep talk in the next 24 hours. That's basically it, That's quite simple, I think. I want to pull from this deck, and then I think we'll take action to ask someone for a pep talk or reassurance or even validation. Just be like, listen, I'm feeling kind of like, and even saying like I know I'm fine and I'm confident in whatever is, but it's just like I really need a pep talk. I really need some validation right now. Can you please confidence and understand? It's like you need someone to understand that even though things are going like I'm really getting someone who's like things are going fine in my life. Like I'm not in a bad dire place. Like things are going well. But it's almost like you need someone who's not gonna say like, why are you so worried or why are you so sad? Like everything's fine, everything's going amazing for you. You're living the best life ever. Like you should really be grateful or whatever. You need someone who's like gets it, that you will still have your shitty days even though things are going well. Um, you know what song just came on? Because this is like the like a random playlist that I have playing, and the name of the song I've never heard it before, but the song is called Losers. So you might feel like I don't know why I feel this energy is just like even though you feel yes things are working out and life, why do I feel like such a loser? And this is not like I really want you to know it's not me saying this about you. It's like it feels like you're having that kind of grappling with yourself. Let me see if I can see the lyrics for this. Mm, no, I'm not seeing it. But anyway, Losers by Balthazar. I don't know if you want to go listen to that song. I've never heard that song before. It's just come up on like I have like a random playlist here. So that's interesting. It's like you need someone to breathe confidence back into you a little bit. Someone non-judgmental, someone who's not gonna turn around to you and being like, oh, you should be so grateful, like things are, it's like I almost feel like you might have just recently started doing really well in work, or you may have gotten a promotion recently, or you got into like a really great relationship, and it's like, why am I feeling like this? Like everything's fine, things are going well, and your guides are kind of saying like it's okay to feel down and it's okay to feel paralyzed by fear or paralyzed by something. Like it's okay. It's and I keep getting like get cozy. Like the next 24 hours, it would be a good idea to get cozy, to stick on like your favorite show from your childhood, something that you found very soothing in your childhood, whether it be like I'm even getting someone playing The Sims or like playing those, like Nintendo. I'm seeing, do you remember, was it Nintendo DS? Uh, I'm even getting like, what's that game? I've never played it, but it's, what is it called? The really cute one where you create a village. Animal Crossing. Like, I'm getting just be gentle on yourself in the next 24 hours and ask for a pep talk from that person. Like, I'm seeing this person here who could give you that pep talk and know they're not too busy for you. And yes, they have time to spare to give you reassurance. So that's what I have for you. Group number 3, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon, even with limited content. I really appreciate you giving me the space to gather myself and breathe and be able to maybe come back with more strength. But I really enjoyed doing this reading for you. That was really fun. Like it was interesting because there is a very clear message that came through for you. So I hope you're looking after yourself, because that one almost made me cry. So I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.